I don't understand why are people. Um, I didn't realize that this my had my whatchamacallit for my cell phone cover over my back camera. But anyways, I'm so irritated that people are letting their fireworks off and it's scaring our babies. Come here, Sheba. See, she trying to hide because every time when she hears a firework, she gets scared. And the older dogs, they keep hide in the backyard and then running back in the house because they're scared. I wish people would think about the facts, and it's very scary for them. When they hear all these fireworks, and it's like, why are you doing fireworks? It's not the 4th of July. People will use any excuse to have fireworks, to set off fireworks. It seems like it's just crazy to me, and I don't understand why. See, there go Queen Sheba. She's scared. She just jumped off the couch. Glad she didn't hurt herself. But anyway, so I've been following a lady named Doe Dash. That's her channel name. And she's like, if you're over 40, get your ass on YouTube. Well, I've been on YouTube for years now. And during the whole COVID pandemic, I was really trying hard to get my social media up and all that. And then I got burnt out because I was trying to do way too many things, plus still work my full-time job. So anyways, I'm trying to do what Dodash said and start doing some lives again and whatnot. And we'll just, see how it goes. But, I'm working on my Facebook page as well because I got over 7,000 followers on that. So a lot more on there. But, everything I guess takes a minute. Thank you. That's Moses and Isaiah. Thank you for your sisters. I'm actually a YouTuber and you found me. Oh, cool. That's awesome. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad I found you. Yeah. So, anyways, I'm just coming on here to vent because they're letting off fireworks around here in my neighborhood, and it's scaring my fur babies. All of our fur babies, they're all scared. We breed toy poodles, so they're all running in the house and crying and whimpering, and because the loud noises and stuff. No, I don't grow any fruit or vegetables. I tried. I even spent a ton of money, which if my husband really knew how much I spent on the farm stand, with buying the farm stand and buying all of the different vegetables and fruits that I bought, seedlings for that farm stand. And it was doing pretty good for a hot minute because I had it in our laundry room. And then my husband started complaining about that it was in the way, and the dogs were licking the water that was getting down on the bottom. So I put it out on the back deck, and then the bugs started attacking it. And it was supposed to be where it wouldn't like run out of water, per se. Like once it's filled up, that the water was supposed to last for a good little while. And we went out of town one time for just a couple days, and that shouldn't have been. That wasn't that long to where it shouldn't have been empty. But when we came back after just a couple days, it was completely empty, and most of the seedlings had died. And then I kept buying the seedlings for a while, but then it was like, you know what? This isn't going to work out too well. Farming is not easy. It's definitely not easy. Definitely takes dedication. And my husband wanted me to do it, but then he didn't want to help with any of it. And it's like, okay, I can't do everything. I mean, yes, I do wear the S on my chest and I am Superwoman, but I mean, even Superwoman gets tired and needs, help and can only do so much. So I had to kind of give up on the farming right now. Oh, you're growing spinach and carrots now. Okay. That's what's up. Yeah, I mean, it can be fun. It was when I was doing it. It was exciting when my seedlings were growing and they weren't dying on me. It was exciting to see. I was growing a bunch of different types of lettuce, among other things. And when it was growing, they were growing. I could see my lettuce growing and all that. It was kind of fun. Um, I did pretty good with, let's see, lettuce, green onions. Um, I was able to get a couple of my seedlings of strawberries to grow once or twice. I did good with some squash, growing some squash. Um, and what else? There was a few other things that I was able to grow pretty good for the most part. But, you know, it really, it's one of those things where you have to, in my opinion, I think you have to be a homebody, so that that is at home, pretty much most of the time. And, we like to travel, even though, I am at home for the most part. But there are times where, we travel, either to go see family on the West Coast or, in Vegas or whatever. And then, of course, now that we bought land in Kenya and we're building a mini Airbnb resort over there, and also our home because we want to, when we retire, here in the near future, hopefully within the next 60 months or less, we want to move over to Nairobi, Kenya. It's such a beautiful country. Um, so, I've been going back and forth. Well, I've gone there twice already. Um, this year. So, and we're going to be going a lot, even more often, especially once we start the building of the actual cottages. So, yeah, farming is one of those things where you got to be home. 99% of the time you can't be going and traveling. I mean, even just like our dog breeding business, that's starting to become a challenge with getting somebody to watch all of our dogs and stuff as we add to our breeding business. Um, well, what they grow here, it's just really depends on the person. I'm in the state of Louisiana in the U.S., and this is a really good state to grow fruits and vegetables because we do get a lot of rain. So even though I can't stand the rain, but we do get a lot of rain, so it's a good state to grow stuff. We have a neighbor that's just about maybe a couple hundred feet away, and they're growing some different, looks like some different vegetables. I don't know what, but I do see them out, tilling their dirt and maintaining their garden and stuff. Like I said, if you are home most of the time, it's fine. But if you like to travel and stuff like that, then you're gonna, you run into issues with trying to making sure your plants stay alive. Because, just even with our dogs and stuff, you know, getting, somebody that we feel comfortable with and stuff like that to watch them. I mean, I have a family member that loves dogs, and she actually watches dogs as a side business hustle or whatever. But even, she sometimes is busy or she's out of town or whatever. So in Kenya, they grow a lot of different things in Kenya. They, although they are under attack from a certain individual, which I won't name, but with trying to push GMO seeds on them and stuff like that, we've already been completely infiltrated and obliterated with with that nonsense. But over there, there's you can still get a lot of fresh non GMO organic fruits and vegetables, as well as grass fed, grass finished um, meat and stuff like that. And that's one of the reasons why we are going to. Oh, what's this? My hair sticking up. That's one of the reasons why we are going to be moving over there, because the food is so much more healthier for you. It's so much more nutritious. You don't even eat a lot because you get full quick, because it does have a lot of nutrients in the food. Um, we had, let's see, what did we have? We had like watermelons, still had the seeds in there. We had uh, mangoes. We had some. They have these little bananas. They call them sweet bananas over there. They're really cute too. They're like about that big, and they're very sweet. They're very good. You can even see the seeds in the bananas. That's how fresh their fruit and stuff is over there. But they grow a lot of stuff over there. It's a very tropical climate. They only have two seasons: dry season and rainy season. But in Nairobi, the temperature is pretty even kill all year round. That's another thing that we really love about it. It kind of reminds me of, if you're familiar with any of the states. I'm from California in the Bay Area, and so it kind of reminds me of Bay Area weather, where it's for the most part not too hot, not too cold, pretty much all year round. Oh, I didn't know that. So Kenya is the third largest exporter of macadamia nuts. Okay, that's good to know. Um, I know one thing that they're known for, and it's very very good, is their honey. Um, I got some honey from there, and it was very good, and also their nut butters. Yeah, yeah, and so we I got some of that because my husband, he likes peanut butter. And so I got him some of their peanut butter, and he said, it was good. He said it was different though. It didn't totally taste exactly like peanut butter here in the states. And I would imagine if I was to go and read the container, the label, which I don't think he ate it all, but then again, knowing him, he may have already ate it all. But I would imagine that it doesn't have a lot of the crap in it, and which is why it tastes a little bit different than the peanut butter here in the states. Because the peanut butter here in the states, they put hydrogenated oils and all kinds of other garbage in it. He says you feel the Bay Area thing with me, yeah. So yeah, but they grow different nuts and stuff over there too. My favorite fruit, let me see. Well, it depends on, like, if it's the summertime, and it's in season, of course. I love watermelon. That's probably up there, number one, number two. And then I love berries. I love blueberries, and I love strawberries. Um, so yeah, those are probably my favorites: watermelon and blueberries and strawberries. And then when cherries are in season, I love cherries too. Cherries are really good, but you just have to be careful on eating cherries, because I've made the mistake and ate too many of them, and they give you the shits. They will clean cherries will clean you out for real, for real. So that's the only thing about cherries, is that they will clean you out. But yeah, watermelon is probably the number one. I love 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 watermelon. A good sweet watermelon hits the spot. And plus, it's very, very good for you. It'll flush you out. It'll help you with if you're having skin issues and stuff like that. So, what else? So, you said you feel me on the Bay thing. Where are you from? South Dakota. South Dakota? I wouldn't think that they can't hardly grow much of anything in South Dakota. Oh, are you saying San Diego? Okay, I was gonna say South Dakota. Yeah, San Diego's beautiful. Yeah, they can grow pretty much just about anything in San Diego. My oldest daughter, she lives not exactly in San Diego. She's in San Marco, and I guess it's not too far from San Diego. She loves it, even though it's expensive as hell out there. But I mean, you can't. Excuse me, you can't beat the weather. You know, I love the weather in San Diego most of the time. Although they have gotten hit a couple times this year with some crazy ass floods. Well, in San Marco, anyways. I know San Diego's is not exactly right next door or down the street, so maybe they didn't experience the crazy weather that my daughter experienced up there in San Marco not too long ago. I remember growing up because I grew up partly down in Stockton in Northern California and then partly up in Oakland. And I remember, and Stockton is considered the valley. And there used to be a lot of farms. There still is some farms, but not nearly as many now as there were back, 50 years, 50 something years ago when I was a kid growing up. I'm 52. But they used to have like, and it's still like that in like African countries like Kenya, where and Rwanda too. We went to Rwanda back in April as well. But you can just walk down the street. You used to be able to just walk down the street in Stockton, and literally there would be cherry trees and plum trees and fig trees um, and stuff like that. And then like you could walk in a neighborhood or whatever, and people would have raspberry bushes and blueberries and blackberry bushes growing as you would just walk down the street, and stuff. And I, but nowadays you don't see that anymore. You don't unfortunately, you don't see that any too much anymore these days in Stockton, which I don't really go to Stockton anymore. I haven't been there in a couple of years, but for the most part, you really don't see that in the states. I don't think. Like not like it used to be when I was a kid. People don't really plant trees along their street anymore like they used to. And here in Louisiana, you're gonna have a hard time. I mean, there are neighborhoods with some sidewalks, but a lot of the neighborhoods, including ours, does not have sidewalks. This is very depressing. I say that. Yeah, but they just don't do it anymore. Not on a large scale, I should say, like they used to. The pawpaw trees. I don't know what kind of tree that is. Pawpaw. I'm not familiar with that. You're gonna have to tell me what that is. Pawpaw. Or unless you're trying to say pom. No, I don't know what pawpaw tree is. But but yeah, I mean, it is really good to plant fruit trees. Like uh, we have we had to have a couple of them cut down, unfortunately. Couldn't There was nothing we could do about that, but because they had gotten damaged from the storms. But I still have a couple of pecan trees on my property here, and we've gone out there and gathered some of them or whatever. And then when my nephews and stuff had came to visit a couple of years ago, they went out there and picked up a lot of the pecans off the ground that had fallen. Abalone, green fruit, kind of like chamara. I'm not even saying that right. I know I'm not saying that right. On the outside, but yellow on. Okay, okay, that's what's up. Have you ever had jackfruit? That's pretty good. Um, they also will make jackfruit like they'll cook jackfruit and make it look like, and you can season it to pretty much taste like whatever you want. But I've had it cooked to where and seasoned to where it was um, vegan tacos, and it looked like shredded pork. It was pretty good. Okay, yeah, I have heard of that. Um, yeah, I've heard of that before, or I've either I've heard of it or I've read it or something because the word looks familiar. Cherry moya. I guess that's how you say it. I've seen that word before, somewhere. Not sure where though. Did did we try keep apple in Africa? Um, I don't think so. I don't think so. I mainly like had like um watermelon, mangoes, pineapples, um in terms of fruit there when I was there. Um I think that was about it. I think the bananas, of course, I had some bananas when I was there. Um And it's funny because this last time when I went back in November, I took my dad with me and we bought like a bunch of fruit and stuff like that because we was like, oh, we'll have like fruit and like maybe eggs and bacon or something like that for breakfast or whatever. But the funny thing is a couple times I did like cook us a little bit of something or whatever. But most of the days, and we were there for about 11 days, most of the days we would wake up and we wouldn't even be hungry. We wouldn't get hungry until like kind of later on into the afternoon or so, which was like, totally strange and for both of us. Well, mainly for my dad because he was used to like eating all day, doggone day and night long. Pretty much, he like get up, eat, go take a nap, then get back up, eat, and then and all that. And I told him he was going to get full fast over there because the food is so nutritious, and that's exactly what happened. Um, yeah, the only thing I would say in terms of the food over there, especially in Kenya, I think the food in Rwanda had a little bit more flavor to it than Kenya. But in Kenya, they're not big on a bunch of spices like how we are here in the States. Um, Outside of like salt and pepper, basically, for the most part. So that's a little different. You're gonna have to a lot if you like your food like really seasoned or whatever. You're gonna have to add some additional seasonings to it um, because they don't use it's just not their culture, their thing to use a lot of seasoning on their foods. Um, I had oh I had goat ribs for the first time over there, and they were pretty big sizes, like what you would expect if you've ever had beef ribs. So they're pretty big and pretty meaty. They have some fat on them, but it's not like too bad. And the goat ribs, to me, if you've ever had dry ribs, they kind of almost taste like dry ribs because they didn't put any barbecue sauce on them. Like I could have asked for barbecue sauce, but it would have been like on the side, not on the ribs themselves. Um, but they were fine. They were tasty. They gave me a lot. It was a lot. I couldn't even eat them all, and I ended up taking a big portion of them back to our Airbnb, and then we ate a little bit of them. But yeah, so the goat ribs are pretty tasty. Um, a lot of their food is basically the same or very similar to ours, but it might just be prepared a little differently. Like we went to this one restaurant and my dad got what kind of fish did he get? I think he got a sea bass, and he didn't realize until they brought it out they brought out the whole fish, including the head was still attached and all that. He was like, "Oh, I didn't know I was gonna get the, was gonna still have the head on here or whatever." Um, and then he got some spinach to go along with it, and the spinach tasted really good. I never had spinach like that before. It was kind of creamy, but not like um, creamy to where it was like a spinach creamy soup. It wasn't that creamy, but it was kind of creamy, and then it had kind of a chocolate aftertaste. It was weird, but it was good. But it was different. And they didn't call it, they called it spinach on the menu, but they also called it something else. And I'm sure it was something in Swahili. And I don't remember what it was called, but that was good. And then um, we had some different like bean dishes or whatever, and they had Swahili names for the dishes or whatever, or what they called them or whatever, but I don't remember. Because like I said, a, a a lot of the food is basically the same. It's just prepared differently. Oh, okay. Is it EFO real? I'm not sure what that means. Yeah, I don't, I'm not sure what the last thing you asked me means. Um, I mean, we went to. I kind of lost. I lost track. We probably went to at least five or so different restaurants or so. Um, and I tried to mainly stick to eating stuff that was somewhat familiar to me, only because of the fact that the first time I went to Kenya in April, I got the shits. So, and so I was like kind of scared, the second time, and just tried to make it a point not to eat stuff that I wasn't really familiar with, and I definitely stayed away from eating stuff at like little hole in the wall places, because the first time we did go to a couple of little hole in the wall places, and I think that's why I had got um, diarrhea real bad. So I tried to stay away from those type of places the second time. Oh, wait. Yeah, no. I'm not a real big milk person anyways, because um, you know, most human beings, especially black folks, we are lactose intolerant. And so I'm not a real big milk person. I mean, if the recipe calls for milk, that's fine. But in terms of just like drinking milk by itself or something like that, like, nah. And I don't really eat cereal. I mean, I haven't had a bowl of cereal in years. So, um, yeah. I won't. The only way I'll try camel milk is it's gonna be mixed in something like the rest, like maybe a cake or something like that. If they use camel milk, I mean, I don't know why they would use camel milk versus um, goat milk or cow milk, but whatever. But so I would probably never try it, like I said, unless it's in something else. Oh wow, really? Oh, you said, oh, you drink, not, you didn't mean camel, you meant cow. Because I was about to say, like, okay, well, I mean, they do got camels over there in Kenya. So it's like, but yeah, they pretty much, if they drink milk over there, I think it's pretty much goat milk for the most part. And maybe they drink some cow milk, but I think they drink a lot of goat milk. Oh, camel? Yeah, I'm sure. Or do you mean to say cow? Because you keep going back to camel now. Oh no, camel. Okay. Yeah, those camels, they're extremely big. So I would be very curious to see how they manage to milk them because they're pretty big. We didn't do a safari when I went this last time, um, last month with my dad, but the first time me and my husband went back in April and we did do a safari, and camels are pretty freaking tall. So, yeah, I would be curious to know how they are able to domesticate them and milk them. Hmm, interesting. No, we didn't see a white tiger when we went on the safari. We saw tigers, but not a white one. Yeah, we saw some, but just not a white one. Because I think those are kind of rare. I think that's kind of like, you don't regularly see an albino human, a person that's an albino, because it's a rare genetic disorder. So, um, yeah. Now where we're buying our land at and having our property built, there's wild hyenas, baboons, different species of birds and stuff like that. And we did see in a couple of different areas, not just where we're building at, but also when we were just driving down the street, a few times we saw monkeys and stuff. And they just, doing their thing, minding their own business. But I mean, you have to go and you have to see for yourself. It's one of those things where like all the videos and stuff in the world is doesn't do it any justice until you actually see it for yourself. Um, we really like Rwanda. It's extremely clean. We felt extremely safe. It is military rule, so they take security extremely serious. And it felt the most like back at home because they do drive on the same side of the street as we do. Their steering wheel is on the left side, just like ours. Um, in Kenya, it felt strange because they drive on the opposite side. Their steering wheel is on the right side. So if you're riding in the car, you're going to get on what we know is the driver's side, but over there it's the passenger side. That takes a little bit of getting used to. And Kenyans drive crazy as hell. They drive crazy as hell. They don't drive as fast as we do in the States, but they do. They are trying to get somewhere and get somebody. I'll put it like that. And um, they pack their city buses like sardines. The city buses don't have schedule specific routes or whatever. They call them mutatus. Um, that's kind of interesting. We didn't ride on one yet. I haven't ridden in one yet. And then they have what they call bodas. Those are the motorcycle guys on a motorcycle. You can order one of those just like a regular Uber. They're extremely cheap, but I wouldn't do it unless you know you don't value your life, because I just don't feel comfortable with riding on the back of the motorcycle with nobody. And they'll ride like three or four deep on one motorcycle. It's crazy. And then Uber is really good. They come, very quick, and it's pretty inexpensive too. collect some seeds for you. So in the Middle East, I was driving, and behind me looked like Mad Max with the dust in the lanes. Yep. I mean, they do. Well, they do have like regular highways and stuff like that in Kenya, but then they also have areas like where we're buying at, where the roads are not quite developed yet. We're actually um, where we bought at. It didn't even really have a road, and then we just put a road in. But it's still we still need to pave it and put the drainage in and stuff like that. And so we promised the city that we would do that, and we are going to do that in the next probably 6 months. In exchange, they allowed us to name our road after our last name, so which is cool. And it should be, if it hasn't already, getting pinged by Google, so it'll be able to give turn by turn directions to our actual mini resort and stuff. So that's going to be cool. But yeah, they do drive kind of crazy. They don't drive as fast as we do, but our project manager, because he was just kind of like, I don't want to say like just straight running the red lights, but um, the red light didn't necessarily deter him from not continuing on. So my dad was like, what the hell, y'all don't have to abide by red lights or whatever. And he just kind of laughed. He was like, well, in his Kenyan accent, he was like, it's just kind of like a suggestion. It's like, what? So, yeah, for sure, for sure. Most definitely. I'll have to look for some seeds the next time we go. I have to remember that, to get some seeds and smuggle them back in. Hopefully, y'all don't get caught by immigration or anything coming back through. Because you got to go through all of that stuff, and they kind of grill you when you well, when you're going into Kenya, they kind of grill you a little bit, and then when you're coming back, depending on which airport or whatever, so, and depending on which person you get, like some people they just be like, oh, where you coming from, even though they can see it on your freaking passport, but and what was the purpose of your trip or whatever, and then you saw tourism or whatever, and some people were like, oh, okay, cool, well, was that your first time, it's like, oh no, I've been there a couple times before or whatever, or yeah, it was. And then other people, they like really take their job like super super seriously. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, the in Kenya, it's really like Uber. That's probably the best, and they have their own Uber, which is called. They have Uber, and then they have their own competing company that's called Bolt. But Bolt isn't, because Uber has such a strong foothold in the marketplace. uh, Bolt really, they're really struggling to try to compete with Uber. But Uber there is super cheap compared to here in the States, and they're very quick and responsive. Like if you look on the app and let's say you still trying to get ready, and then you think you're gonna be able to order an Uber, and then you're gonna have all this time. No, like it might say when you're getting ready to order it that the person is 5 minutes away, but once you actually order it, it usually changes and it's like 2 minutes away or 1 minute away, or they're right out front. So they're very very quick. They're Uber guys are, and I say guys because one of the things that we did notice, I think out of all, we may have only had one female Uber driver. Most of our Uber drivers were men, and I didn't really even notice it until my dad pointed it out, and he was like, "Have you noticed that most of our Uber drivers have been guys, and we only had like one that was a female?" Yeah, so that was a little strange. They do have taxi too, but Uber is just way more convenient. in Kenya, for sure. Now Rwanda, it's all about a taxi, ordering a taxi. Yeah, in Rwanda, but Kenya, it's all about Uber. Yeah, like what would normally cost you, let's say a $50 ride here in the States, and then it also too is going to depend on where you live at in the States. If you live in a major city, in California or somewhere, a Uber ride there is going to cost you way more than one would cost me here living in Louisiana. But nonetheless, let's just say a Uber ride here in Louisiana that would cost me $40, there in Nairobi, it's gonna be like not even probably half that amount. Maybe like $10, $15 or something like that. It's very, very cheap. Now their gas is expensive as hell. If a person has a car, gas is not cheap over there. But then like insurance and stuff is way, way more affordable there than here. Yeah. Yep. So those are the reasons why we're gonna be moving over there. The people are very, very welcoming, very friendly. And of course, not every single person, but for the most part, by and large, it's a very welcoming society. Um, they're very friendly. Um, they are, a lot of them are fascinated with America. So the minute you open your mouth, they're going to know that you're from the States, and then they're going to, a lot of times they're going to be asking you questions or whatever. And we had to tell them like, you guys have way more freedom over here than you would in the United States. You better stay in your own country, because even though the United States portrays itself of being the greatest country in the world and all this freedom, we know that's a bunch of BS. Over there, they really do have a lot of freedoms. It's mostly a cash-based society, although I say cash-based in quotes, air quotes, because they use a system called M-Pesa. It's an app, and you don't have to have a bank account, because a lot of the people over there don't necessarily have a bank account, but they can go to money exchangers, which is equivalent to like Western Union here in the States. But their money exchangers, they're all over the place. Like they can be in little corner shops and stuff like that. So they can go to a money exchanger, give them actual paper currency, and then they'll in turn basically electronically load that money onto their M-Pesa account, and then they pretty much pay everything with M-Pesa, with their phone for the most part. Although when we go over there, we usually go to the Forex currency booth and we give them, US dollars for the Kenyan shilling, and then and we try to pay for a lot of things with cash. And so a lot of times it like kind of surprises people, because they're so not used to dealing with cash. It kind of similar to us here in the States. Like I don't really carry around a lot of cash here. I mainly use my debit card or my credit card, and stuff. And then like if I'm buying stuff online, if it gives me the option, I try to use PayPal, because then I'm covered in terms of my purchase or whatever. So if I have a problem, I can always, very easy to file a dispute through PayPal or whatever. And so for them, their M-Pesa is kind of like PayPal in a way. Oh, thanks. I got this from one of my Facebook friends. He has a t-shirt business in I think he lives in Flint, Michigan. And so I had ordered it from him like a few years ago. And then I learned about how you can start your own t-shirt business online. So I created one through Teespring or whatever. But his is, he actually has actual print T-shirt store, physical store building. And he's been doing it for years, way before, you know, the internet and all these platforms and everything that you can easily make, T-shirts and all kinds of stuff with now. But yeah, the people are really cool, like I said. And most people over there, they're more than just bilingual, because most of them speak at least three or four languages, because clearly, obviously, they speak English. They were colonized by the British, so they speak English. And then they speak Swahili, and then depending on what tribe they're from, they'll speak their typically they'll speak their tribal language as well. Um, and so yeah, they speak a bunch of different languages, but Swahili is actually, I think it's the country's official language, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I did. I had got some stuff from a cousin of mine who she loves the African prints and stuff, from a lady because she lives in the Bay Area, and so there's an African lady, and I don't know what country the lady is from, but she has a shop in the Bay Area, and she actually makes the clothes to fit you. So my cousin had already had like multiple pieces from her, and so she gave me some of her stuff, and then I bought some things when I was over there as well. Yes, I do know a few words. I was like really like intently trying to learn or whatever, but it's just like how we all took, a lot of us, I should say all how we all, but a lot of us took Spanish in high school and in college. But of course, if you're not around it every day and getting practicing, then you're not going to remember a lot of it. But I do remember some words, and we do want to get fluent with it. But I know that's not gonna really happen until we actually move over there. But like most people already know a few words, they just don't realize it. So um, Akuna Matata from The Lion King, that's Swahili. It means no worries. Jambo is hello. Asante Santa is thank you very much. Um, um, God, my mind is drawing a blank. Habari means hello. I think Jambo, I think that's like hello, hi. Yeah, you do have to speak it pretty consistently, and you have to be hearing it, regularly, um, for it to really start to sink in. You know, Pesa is money. Um, what else? Karibu is welcome. You'll hear that a lot. They'll people will say that to you a lot. Karibu, Karibu, my sister, Karibu, my brother. They want to make sure they let you know that you're welcome. Akuna Matata. Just think about the Lion Kings. If you ever saw the movie, The Lion King, and the song, it says Akuna Matata. It means no worries. Yeah, Akuna Matata, Akuna Matata. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a couple of words that you already know. You just didn't know that they were Swahili words. Um, what's the our Airbnb resort name is A-Frames Kiwania Kilamia. Kilamia. I know I'm not saying it right, but it means A-frames on the hill, because our A-frames are on a hill, or will be on a hill. Our land is a hill. Oh shoot, that I forgot. I forgot how you say I love you. Um, yeah, I have to look that up again. And then I had learned some of the numbers, like 4 is nin. Uh, um, 0 is maja, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Um, Shoot, I done forgot my damn numbers now because I wasn't thinking about it. See, if I look at my little, because I made out a bunch of flashcards and stuff. If I look at like my flashcard, and I hope I didn't throw my flashcards away. What are A-frames? That's the style of the house that we're gonna have built. They're just like what it says. A. They're built like a they're shaped like a A. So, or more like a triangle, I guess. But yeah, so that's the style of the houses that we're gonna have built is A-frame um, style houses, or more like when you if you manually write the alphabets out and you write the letter A out, that's how it's shaped. Yeah, you can respond that way, I guess. They have like a bunch of different videos on YouTube where people are teaching Swahili for free. So I had downloaded this app called I think it was like Swahili Learning 101 or something like that. But I found them on YouTube, and then I downloaded the app, and I thought I paid for it to have unlimited access to it, but I didn't realize my access was only good for so many months and then it expired or whatever. But whatever. I said I was gonna to show them support because there's a young couple from, I think they're from Atlanta, no, Tennessee, and they moved over to the continent 4 years ago. Their channel is called T3 and Me. They're actually in Tanzania, and Tanzania is right next to Kenya. It's in East Africa, and the husband Tim, he he learned how to speak Swahili fluently, and so then he partnered with a local, and they created a course, and so they sell their online course, and I said I was going to sign up with them or buy their course if nothing else to support them and stuff, because they seem like such a awesome young couple. And they've had their second kid over there since they've been over there, so they're doing pretty well. They started an eco farm, and the wife's a doula, so she does that. They make natural products, and so they opened up a little boutique store over there where they're selling their natural products and stuff, and yeah. So I said I was going to sign up for their Swahili course. Yeah. For my dad, the main thing with him was that he had a hard time remembering that he needed to convert how to convert the money. So even though I kept showing him like online where you just type in whatever amount it is in US dollars, and then it tells you how much that is in Kenya shillings. Um, but he's like, man, that's going to take me a little while to get used to. Which it does take a minute to kind of get used to that, but um, just one rule of thumb is a thousand Kenya shilling is about $7.70 or something or so, not quite $8. Um, it's kind of how you do the conversion or whatever. But I just use the app. That's what I do to convert. Well, all right. I didn't think I would be on here that long, but I'm so glad that you jumped on here. Uh, how do you say your name? Yarub? Hopefully, I hope I'm saying that right. I'm probably not. But charge it to my head and not my heart. Not purposely mispronouncing it. But people mispronounce my name all the time and they misspell it all the time. So I'm kind of used to it. It's Nika. It's Nnika. And I've seen other Nikas. I've met other Nikas, but nobody has spelled it the same way as mine's. So, and I guess I can thank my biological mother and dad for that. But anyhow, it is now 9 o'clock, so I am not going to stay on here any longer. Two of my fur babies have come and snuggled with me on the couch. So I'm going to check on them. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate all of the interaction and stuff. It made this fun. And I will be doing it again. All right. Until next time, please share the channel. I'm going to be hopefully soon. If I can get somebody to help me with it. I just got burned by somebody on Fiverr trying to help me create a crowdfunding campaign for the resort. We want to, get going on that pretty soon. We built the wall around it, stone wall, and that allowed us to be able to hire up to 30 local Kenyans from the Maasai tribe. They were day laborers, and they pretty much if they don't, work that day, then they basically don't make any money to feed their families. So we were able to, hire up to 30 guys for a couple of months. And we want to be able to hire a bunch of them again to do the project, to help us complete the project. It won't be permanent jobs for them, for most of them. A few of them we will hire permanently to work on the ground. But at least, if nothing else, for, the next 6 months or so, we can be able to give those guys jobs and help them be able to take care of their families. So we'll be launching a campaign soon to raise funds, and we hope that we get, all the love and support that we can get from all of our social media, friends and family. It's going to be it's called A-Frames on the Hill. Is the American name, and then the Swahili name is A-Frames Kiwania Kilama. I know I'm not saying that right. but, but yeah, so I'm working on, I've already posted different videos and stuff showing clips of when we were there and whatnot. And then I'm going to be working on a website for it. And once I get the actual renderings from the architect of what it's going to look like, then I'll be posting those and sharing those. And so follow me on Facebook too, because that's where I post a lot of stuff, more so on Facebook than on YouTube, and also on my Instagram. All right. All right. Well, you guys have a good night, and we're not into the holidays or whatever, but if you are, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, whatever it is that floats your boat. All right. Take care, everybody. Until next time.